I had occasion to speak with Rav Avram Ziskin, who is the Rosh Yeshiva here in Telstone, who was the one who encouraged me to start on this journey of the Savta stories. And he mentioned something very complex, very deep, very interesting, and I'd like to pull what I think might be a core part of what he shared, because it relates very closely to the issues that we have been discussing, as you'll see. If a person takes seeds and he puts them in the ground, or he slushes them around in water for a few days, and then he puts them in the ground, so he did not fool himself when he says that he made a tree. And the reason he's not fooling himself, and the reason why he doesn't have to feel as though he did nothing, is because he was acting as a nivra, meaning Hashem does everything. So then what's my role? If Hashem does everything, then what role, what place do I have? And the answer is that Hashem built me into the system so that by using the rules or the system that he set up, I, as a nivra, can bring about that which the Borei wants to bring in the world. So that I'm not embarrassed that I did nothing because Hashem made the tree, because Hashem set up the system that the tree would not exist if I did not throw those seeds into the ground. So if I left those seeds on the table, there would be no tree. But if I put those seeds in the ground, even on the ground underneath the steps of the building, if I put the seeds in the ground and I recognize that my place in the world is as a nivra, then I am acting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu together in the system. As soon as I start trying to think about making a tree, I get into trouble. Because now I'm starting to think like a borei, not like a nivra. A nivra only responds to what this moment calls on him to do. He doesn't think about the outcome unless the outcome is part of the call of the moment. But outcomes are to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu handles the outcomes. But I'm not considered insignificant because my action or my tefillah is built into the system that makes me part of the Bria. If you want to think of it in original terms, Adam Arishon saw that he had much more yicholes, much more capacity than just to stay away from one tree. He had way more capacity than that. And he wanted to show Hashem how much capacity he had, that he could serve Hashem with much more capacity. What he did in the process, though, was he turned himself into the borei. And as a nivra, the only thing that a person needs to deal with is hineni. If this is what I feel Hashem wants from this moment, then this is everything. This is what a nivra does. The whole idea of kochi v'otzem yodi is that a person puts in whatever effort he puts in, and then he starts thinking of himself as being in charge or bringing about the outcomes. And that's where the person slips from the place where he was designed into the Bria. In other words, if a person says, what am I? What am I in the Bria? If Hashem can do everything, and Hashem does do everything, then where am I in the Bria? And the answer is that when I exercise choice in a given moment, I am acting as a nivra, and that Hashem built in to the system. He built me into the Bria, and the Bria can't exist without me. That is the message of my separation, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wired me into the Bria. And that's why a person who judges Hashem, for example, a person who says that Hashem did something good or something bad, he's judging Hashem. He's so far out of his lane, because in his lane, judging Hashem wasn't one of the tasks that was given to the Nivra. He was given the task to understand and to feel what is the call of this moment. And by the way, if you want to know the call of the moment, Hashem will always let you know. If you want to know what this moment is calling on you to do, you'll always know. And that's because it couldn't be otherwise. Of course you'll know. And the only way that you could get it wrong is when you try to overstep what this moment has in mind. So, for example, a person is exhausted, he comes home, he can only learn, let's just say for argument's sake, he can only learn one word. One word. More than that, he can't do. He's too exhausted. One word. So all of the olamos, all of the endless creation that Hashem puts in the world when somebody learns Torah, so it's all going to come from that one word. All of that creation will all grow out of that one word. Person feels that he can learn a whole daf. So then all of his feeling that he's able to learn the whole daf is what lets him know that Hashem is going to bring all of those worlds that the Nefesh HaChaim describes, that he's going to bring all of those worlds by his learning that daf. The person knows from what he's capable of who gave him that idea, who gave a person that thought, who gave him the feeling that he had that capacity. The answer is that's HaKadosh Baruch Hu wiring him into the Bria. So if a person oversteps and tries to do more than he can, so he's trying to act like a Borei, because he can't do more than he can. If he's thinking about less than he can, then you say, in what way are you a Nivra? A Nivra does what he can. A Nivra responds with the word Hineni. So for example, what is anxiety? Anxiety is a person stepping out of his lane as a Nivra to worry about an outcome. Simple enough. Once you start worrying about an outcome, then you're in trouble. Because now, what is your role? Is your role to bring about a certain outcome? Well, once your role is to bring about a certain outcome, then anxiety makes good sense. We should be pretty worried that we can't be HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We should be pretty worried that we can't be the Borei, because that can get a person into a lot of trouble. So I just wanted to extract this one Nakuda, because there's so much of what he said that I don't yet fully understand. But I wanted to extract this Nakuda of if a person says, "What am I? What am I in the world?" If Hashem can and does do everything, then what am I in the world? And the answer is, I'm a Nivra. And being a Nivra means I only have this moment, and I am aware that HaKadosh Baruch Hu uses the call of this moment to make everything that he wants to make in the world. All of the olamos, he's going to bring them out of this moment, so that I never have to worry about outcomes, and I can always step in to whatever moment HaKadosh Baruch Hu has allowed me to step in. He allowed me, gave me the idea in my head that I should put these seeds into the ground. That is the call. Some people maybe put thousands of seeds in the ground, but that's certainly not for everybody. Well, how do I know it's not for everybody? And the answer is because I don't feel called to putting in thousands of seeds. Somebody might say that I should, but they can't say that I'm called. The voice of I should is usually about an outcome. And an outcome is the role of the Borei, not the role of the Nivra. If I'm thinking about what I should do, then I'm thinking, what about the outcome? And I'm thinking about what I'm called to do. What does this moment call on me to do? Then I can relax, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is guiding me into this moment. How do I know that I'm meant to be speaking to you right now? Because it's so clear to me that that's what I'm meant to do. It's just clear that that's what I'm meant to do right now. Maybe I should do something else after, for sure. But the call of the moment to try to make this thought as clear as I can in sharing it with you is the call of the moment. Well, what's the outcome of that? I don't know. I don't know. It's not my department. That's above my pay grade. And so the avoda of a person, of finding himself in his life, is the avoda of feeling like a nivra and not pushing on a string to try to take over the role of the borei.